All right, welcome to another episode of Getting Real in the Field. And this is the show where we help you with the things that you hate to do, which is following up, making phone calls, texting, emailing, calling, and all those nasty little follow ups. And I'm your host, JP Fluellen and Keck Tay.
Woo-hoo! And here we are again together tonight.
Yes, sir.
So, any particular areas that you want to cover for tonight? What shall we discuss?
Let's talk about those, what it means to move your client or potential client through the structure of the funnel. Funnel.
Okay. That's a great one. I like that. So maybe we should do a whiteboard session on that topic.
Hey, let's do a whiteboard session, Keck.
Okay.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay,
it's
let's
do that. What was that? Picture pages? Remember that from PBS? Picture pages. I mean, never mind.
So, the way that I look at, the marketing funnels, or some people might call it the sales funnel, right? And I'll break it out into like 3 separate stages. So I'm going to try and draw and talk. You see my screen, right, JP?
I do.
Okay. So the way that I look at it this way is this, this is a funnel. And in here, you're trying to get leads to kind of flow into here and ultimately get to the bottom where you close the deal and you get money, right? That's what this is. And I would break it down to 3 levels here. And you might hear of this, like, top of the funnel, which is what you might have seen as TOF or tofu, right? For top of funnel. And then you might hear mofu here, and then bofu.
Kung fu at the bottom.
Yeah, kung fu. Man, if you come up with one of that, let me know. Okay, so
kick them into the funnel.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, kung fu.
So here you got a whole bunch of leads coming here, and these leads might be like, let's say a whole bunch of people names, and you got to forgive me for my drawing, so I'm going to draw in a head here and stuff like that. These are leads coming in here, and they might be like from Facebook, right? Google PPC and things like that as well too, right? And these are all about ads here, right? These are all about ads. You guys got to forgive me for my handwriting with on a computer screen here. And then in here, this is where you nurture your leads and you kind of take care of your leads. And middle of the funnel is all about nurturing here, right? Nurture your leads here. And then this is converting into customers here. You convert them into customers at this point in time, right? You convert customers here. So you guys can, like, hopefully this makes sense. So the idea is that, whenever I talk to real estate agents, you're really good at converting customers, right? Hey, I am super good. Once I get them talking to me, I'm good at converting those into customers. The problem is that many of them don't think about how to fill the top of the funnel to get to the bottom of the funnel, right? Thoughts on this, like, JP, what's your experience been?
Yeah, so I mean, I think where a lot of agents get hung up though is they're really good at the top of funnel, and they're really good at the bottom of the funnel, but they suck at the nurture. And that's where, where that's where all the money is made, is in that nurturing period and the following up and the, like we talk about in our intro, it's the making the calls and the shooting the texts and, hey, I was just driving by your area, thought of this house that you might be interested in, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, having a good CRM or an ISA or, somebody that is dedicated to that job, because it's impossible to run a smooth business when you're constantly spending your time in the nurture phase.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so you're hitting on one key point there for me, and I totally agree with you. A lot of like you can always, as an agent, go out there. If you're good with converting customers, that's fantastic. You've got a big part of your problem solved, right? But what you don't realize is that you have to fill the top of the funnel, and some agents are afraid of spending money to make money. And whether it be Facebook or Google pay per clicks as well too, you've got to get the top of the funnel coming in, and then they think that that's it. Once they do that, they should be able to convert customers. What they forget is this whole section here about the middle of the funnel, and they don't nurture their leads. They don't follow up with the leads like what you're talking about, and they just kind of like let it die there. And I say most leads die here, if anything, because they don't follow
Well, what they do is they just go find another agent.
up. That's true. That's
That's
true.
what they do,
Yeah.
because they weren't ready when they were in your funnel, but they're going to be in somebody's funnel,
Well, who's ready?
when they're
Yeah.
ready. And so you want them to be in your funnel instead of them going to somebody else,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing too, is like you got to be careful too where you're getting your leads from, because a lot of lead gen companies will skew their numbers. They'll say, yeah, well, we get 15% conversion. Yeah, but not with me.
Yeah.
You might get 15% conversion because they're overselling those leads and there's 10 other agents involved in the same leads that you get. So you just got to be careful when you're doing that, because because I had one company, they said, oh well, we've looked at our analytics and we've cross-referenced our leads with closed sales, and 15% of the leads we sent you closed. Yeah, it's because you oversold all my entire pipeline. And when I did my numbers, it was like no, it was less than 1%.
Yeah.
So I
That's what I
stopped spending
figured.
money with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So excellent point. Lead source up here, you know, quality, your lead source is important too, to kind of know where that's coming from. I mean, if they don't build your brand, I think that you're paying money to just get leads. You'll be on this constant hamster wheel of like depending on them, and to kind of constantly provide you leads. What you should be doing is making sure that you're getting leads but building your brand at the same time. And
Yep.
that's something I always tell agents, like, look, you can buy your leads like from places like Zillow or from realtor.com or those places, but you just be on that constant hamster wheel, just
Yep.
running like crazy from one lead to another lead, because they're not building your brand. They're selling their brand called Zillow or realtor.com, but they'll give you good leads, right? I don't doubt that at all. But then the next part is, if you don't get um if you don't get to nurture this part here, then you lose no matter what, every single time, if you don't do the follow-up. I mean, you might be good at converting customers right now, but if they're not ready, or they might be out for a little bit and you don't follow up with them, this is where you lose out. And this is where you have sources like drip campaigns, right? You might have drip campaigns. You might have an assistant like an ISA to call on them, or in our case, you can have an AI, name Annette, to help you follow up with those leads as well too, right?
Yep.
And then once they're ready, that's when you should be the one, you know, talking to them and working together with the lead together, and then that's when you're going to get the money, the closing of the house,
Making the money.
right?
Yep.
So my biggest point to a lot of agents is that when they complain that, hey, I am getting crappy leads, I am not getting good leads at all, yeah, I can see some point in that part, but I always go back to, are you following up, are you nurturing them? And don't forget that there are different stages, and you got to meet your leads where they are at that given time, you know and if you take that perspective and break out into tofu, mofu, and bofu, then you can see, okay, I'm strong in the bottom of the funnel, but I suck at middle of the funnel. I can hire somebody to work on getting me leads. That's easy, right? But do I can I do am I good at following up? Am I good with the middle of the funnel? And that's something I challenge a lot of agents to kind of think about as well too.
Yeah, and if you can't do, I mean, if you don't have a CRM that's got an AI in it, then you probably should get a dialer, and
And if you're
dial
afraid
for
of calling,
dollars. If you're afraid of calling, then you need to get out of real estate. Um, it's funny. When I first started doing a lot of this stuff, Sherry would be just like, "You can't say that," because it's like people don't want to hear what's the truth, and I'm like, "You can't handle the truth,"
we're keeping it real, man. We're keeping it real.
You got to keep it real, So that's the problem is that it's a sales game.
Yeah.
It is through and through, and the fundamentals always work. Whether it's real estate or if it's selling cars or if it's selling door to door boxes of frozen meat. It's all the same kind of thing. You got to follow up. You gotta be informative. You know, you got to give.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people try to do is they don't want to give because they feel like, well, my time is precious. Well, I'm like, the universe knows. The universe knows if you got a crappy attitude about it, then you're gonna have a crappy business. If you got a great attitude about it, you're gonna be great at it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that's why having good morning routines and affirmations and all that fun stuff all work because it comes out in your attitude.
And
And
you have to have the right mindset to kind of tackle this. And if you are, it's your, like you said, your attitude and your mindset where it comes from, right? I totally agree. Okay, well, um, I think that wraps it up.
I think so too.
I think that if you guys have any questions about these kind of breaking out the market, and how you go about tackling leads, reach out to us. Reach out to us and talk to us about this.
So how are they going to get a hold of you, Keck, if they want to reach out?
Well, they can go to our website, set up some time to chat. The website is Fieldnotes.ai, or if you want to just give me a shout, my phone number direct dial is 425-740-0260, and I'm more than happy to explain the funnels with you.
And you guys can just text the word follow up to 307-772-1184. And I will shoot you over my Calendly link and we can set up a time that way. Or you can go to www.jpfluellen.com and you can follow us there. Or you can hit me up on YouTube at JP Fluellen. You can go to the Google machine. You can JP Fluellen me there too. Or you can DM me on Instagram at JP_Fluellen at there as well. And so just it's all things JP Fluellen.
Okay.
I try not to hide. I try not to hide.
By the way, I love your shirt there, man. Tell me a little bit more about that shirt. Working hard.
So this is off of my my clothing line.
Wow, clothing line.
I know, right?
This is new development here, folks.
Fashion suits are next. No, I'm just playing. Real estate jumpsuits. Wait, what? No.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No. refreedom.us. And so you can check it out there. And we've got some new stuff coming up here in our spring and summer line. And
is it for real estate?
It's all things real estate. So real estate investing, real estate agents. I've got one that I have my catchphrase that I put on one of my shirts, which is it's this kind of like superhero looking, Superman shirt that says saving the world one house at a time. Because people are like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing? Oh, saving the world one house at a time.
Nice. I like that. That's a cool one. Okay, awesome. So check it out, guys. refreedom.
refreedom.us.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode of Getting Real in the Field. Peace.